Welcome, everybody, to a very special Hot Rod Blues podcast. I'm your host, Sean Brereton, along with, we got the crew back together again.
Amen.
Yeah, we got the band back together. Mike Abbott from Steel Rose Metal Co.
Javier Agustin, Bomber Steel Customs.
Sean Young, Kingfish Metalworks, and other things associated.
That's right.
I got fancy today.
Yeah, get into that later.
He's got a portfolio.
And we got Matt Marion back there behind the board for us. So
On the ones and twos.
and yeah, and in case you're wondering where the heck we are, and you're gonna hear wind noise and all sorts of
Saws.
goofy noise, probably music and
Some dudes cussing in the background.
yeah, exactly, all that. We are where, Javi?
We are on the river in Memphis, Tennessee at the Memphis International Barbecue Cooking Contest. That's where we're at.
Right.
This is the World Series of Swine, is what they call it.
That's right.
It is the grand national big time barbecue deal. If you're into that, this is the place to be. For
That's
sure.
right. And where are we specifically?
Specifically,
Specifically.
we are above the international, the IFF firefighter tent.
Yes.
That's the city of Memphis. And we are affiliated with Usual Suspects. They were actually kind enough to give us the space above their tent. So
Very
we
nice.
appreciate them.
Yeah. We are on one heck of a big scaffolding dance floor up here.
Yeah, this is a party. This is a party palace.
It's a wild party
Yeah.
down here. Thursdays and Fridays, if you're coming ever in your life, if you can weasel your way into a tent or know somebody, that's how that works.
That's the one thing about Barbecue Fest is you got to know somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
It's very mafia.
Yeah, you
Like,
can come down here if you don't know somebody, but it sure is nice if you do know somebody.
come for the
right?
Pronto Pups, stay for the party. That's what I
Right.
say.
Right. So do people party tonight? Tonight's
No.
not-
No.
No.
With the- like
Tonight's
I said,
like-
so yeah, the way the schedule really breaks down is it's a week-long deal. So Monday you start load in, which is where you actually start building your scaffolding and building your thing out. Nobody's here for that, just the grunt work. And then by Wednesday, everything's built out. The team members have invite for their families, so the wives understand. Oh, he is actually down here.
That's why he's been gone for months on end.
We're gonna cook
Yeah.
for the kids and the wife, and then on Thursday, Friday, it becomes just a melee party with turn-ins and all kinds of stuff there too. But
When-
nighttime gets wild down here.
When's the judging, Javier? When does the judging start?
So judging's actually already started. They had some ancillary stuff, exotic seafood, wings, all that stuff was yesterday.
Exotic seafood?
Exotics and
Exotics.
seafood.
Okay,
So you would have-
if
like
you-
alligator.
Yeah.
Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
If you have
yeah.
access to that, I would like to.
Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Megalodon.
Yeah,
teeth.
yeah.
You would probably win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
It might taste like crap, but you'd win.
Yeah, you know,
because you'd be the
pre-
only one with that.
A prehistoric cheeseburger. That'd
Yeah,
be great.
pink
Yeah.
coral powder. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, why not? There's something that came out of a glacier that kept glacier. So
Yeah, I've seen Jurassic Park. I know how this works.
so let's talk about cars. What all we got going? I know Abbott has a new motor in the panel.
Yeah. Put a new motor in the panel. Well, first,
Talk about how it happened.
I shelled out the motor in the panel. First and foremost, driving to work 6:30 in the morning, rolling down Interstate 55, and just decided to let go on me.
To be fair, that thing it was cantankerous.
Well, and that motor had a bunch of miles on it. It had a bunch of miles. I got it from Greg Bourne, and Greg drove the wheels off that thing. And then
Yeah.
it sat for about, I don't know, 6-7 years, something like that.
Yeah.
Which, of course, is the worst thing ever for a
that'll
vehicle.
hurt it in a heartbeat.
Right?
Yeah.
We got it back fired up, running again. I got it from Greg. And, of course, I went right back to daily driving.
Did you change the oil before you
Oh,
started
yeah,
running?
yeah, we went through.
Just wondering if
yeah,
there's a
we
little
did.
viscosity problem there.
No, we did all of that, but like I say, it had 1 million miles on it, and it went from setting for years to back to daily driver. So every seal on that motor just started leaking.
Yeah.
And I haven't pulled the motor apart that I took out of it, but it was a god awful knock in it on the lower end. I'm positive it probably stacked a bearing on the low end. But anyways, pretty bummed about that. I'm sitting on the side of the road. Shelby Drive, I don't know, for the people listening, Shelby Drive in the interstate is not the best spot in Memphis.
sure.
Which, I mean, it's like going home to me. It's no big deal. But if you're not from here, probably not a place you need to hang out. But I lucked up, I'm really stubborn when it comes to breaking down. Like, I don't call for help very rarely. So how's that smell over there,
Yeah.
Javier?
I
Javier
don't-
covered his mic with his sock.
He,
I think you're switched off though.
Yeah, that's why it sounds so
He switched it off. Yeah.
I
Sounds
fixed the
perfect.
problem. No,
I don't hear any
hilarious.
wind.
that's actually working.
That actually works. I told you we need.
I'm
those
not going
foam
to do it
things.
to yours.
Yeah.
It smells like hell, but
Take-
yeah,
I'm gonna put my.
It smells like your feet.
Mike,
Is that what
take
you're
your,
doing?
Mike, take your sock off.
It smells like your feet, doesn't it?
oh, not
But,
mine.
Oh, come on, man.
Maybe worse. I don't know.
Oh, I
Javier.
don't know. That's pretty
So
bad.
yeah. So anyway.
So I was pretty bummed out, sitting on the side of the road. And lo and behold, my neighbor who owns a mechanic shop right across the street from me, Mr. Jeff at Powerhouse, called me out of the blue. And he was like, "What are you doing? You coming to the shop today?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I was on my way, but I think I blew up my motor." He sent me a tow truck, like on his tab.
nice.
Nice. So I get it
Good
to the
dude.
shop. Yeah, I get it to the shop, and I'm like, "Man, I need to repay you." He's like, "Dude, weld up this aluminum oil pan for me. We'll call it even." Cool, no problem. I'm pushing it across the street because the tow truck driver would not drop it in my lot because it was on Jeff's bill. All right, whatever. So I push it across the street, and as soon as I roll out of Jeff's parking lot into mine, Greg Bourne and Tommy Bourne are sitting there with their trucks and empty trailers. I'm like, see, this is what I get for being hard-headed. I could have just, if I would have just called them, they were already coming through there.
Yeah,
they could have scooped me up.
Right.
But whatever. And
It's not like anybody
We will-
else didn't call you that day.
Yeah.
Right,
We will
right.
never break you of that.
Yeah. So they asked me what's going on. They listened to the motor. They're like, "Oh yeah, that motor's shot." And Greg's like, "Dude, you'll never believe this. That 30-year collection of stuff that I bought, there is a completely fresh, brand new, unbroken small block Chevy that's identical to the motor that's in this thing."
Yeah.
Let me get in front of that.
Yeah, all right.
That's identical. So I just had a brand new motor fall in my lap the day the motor gave out.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty
Yeah.
good.
You just got to put it in there. So
Yeah, got it in, got it running, driving it.
yeah.
Everything's good.
Bam.
Awesome.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have ordered coilovers for my truck.
Yeah.
So that's, hopefully, I've struggled with the front end since I put it under. I mean, I have. I've put spacers in it. I've taken the spacers out. That front end has been apart 3 or 4 times since
Spacers
I've done.
don't work very good with coilovers.
Well, no, it wasn't the coilover.
Oh.
So I was just trying to.
So right now it's just coil and
No, it is the. I guess it's the strut assembly that comes in a Crown Vic.
Yeah.
But
I don't know what's on there.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
so
a strut.
it's a strut. So
Yeah.
the weird part is one of them got a little soft, so we had to heat the other one up to match it. So yeah, it rides like hell.
Yeah.
So I've got coilovers coming. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm planning on getting the Mercury rolling for the summer.
Dig
so
that.
yeah, I'm ready to drive. I don't care what it looks like.
Yeah.
I got to put a windshield in it and make
I
it
like
happen.
your style.
Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna pull a Javier move.
Hey,
Yeah.
Javier had a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Lost some parts off that car.
Yeah, man. Why not?
They've been
Well,
replaced.
Yeah, yeah.
I hung glass in that thing,
That's what I hear. That's what I
it's-
hear. Yeah.
That's what I heard. I don't know why, but it's in there.
It's all ready to go.
Was it ready? No.
Yeah.
No.
Did I do it?
Did
anyway?
you did you hang a deck lid? That's
I did. I bought a whole car just to replace
there
that.
you go. You need
Nice.
that.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, right after the motor put in, we went to Blytheville.
Yeah.
We did the Arkansas Mile.
Yep. Y'all
You
did.
weren't there.
No, I was at Battle in Bama. down
You were
in
you were
Mobile.
doing mini
I was
truck
working.
stuff.
I was working.
Yeah. Yeah.
There were a few mini trucks, but mostly big boy trucks.
Miatas.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
Miatas.
Yeah.
It looked like a lot of high-end cars. It
Yeah.
looked really
Yeah.
good
It-
watching it online.
A lot of high end like C10s.
Yeah.
They have a C10 row, $1 million row they call it, and
Yeah.
then they have an OBS takeover row.
Oh,
and
okay.
a Pro Street alley
Wow.
deal there.
That's
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, and then they have one other area that's like just like super high end stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So
It looks like a super cool show.
It's a great
I've
show,
never
man.
been. I want to go.
Yeah.
it's a cool show. It's it takes place right in front of the battleship USS Alabama.
Yeah.
And normally on Friday night they have a they call it tacos on the battleship. So it's like the welcome
They
party.
do.
Yes. Yeah.
Where is this held?
Yeah. Right. Mobile, Alabama. But this year they didn't have it on the ship because they're doing restoration on the ship on the decking. where they normally have it. So it was actually a blessing in disguise because they did it inside the pavilion. That I guess has museum stuff in it or whatever, but they did it inside the pavilion this year, and good thing because it rained. Yeah, it rained big time. I actually couldn't go to that because I was too busy holding down the tent. Like the winds picked up and it was
Costin's
pouring.
car?
Yeah, it was pouring sideways. Yeah, Joe Costin arrived there in the middle of the storm, which he's got Evil Ethel, which is like a rat rod,
wide open A model,
top, everything, A model. And I was like, and it's pouring down rain, and we're standing over there, kind of holding the tent and stuff, and I'm like, what pro street car is driving in this? I can't believe that because I could hear it.
The blower?
Yeah, I could hear it. Yeah, it just whoom, whoom, whoom.
Fucking Joe.
Whoom. I look over and here comes Joe. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And so he comes around. It slicks. It'd been raining most of the day. So, he gets off in the grass and it's just, slick tires are just, and he's barely moving,
Dig it.
So we cleared out the tent, our stuff from under the tent, just had him drive under the tent.
Yeah.
Well, he got under there and then, maybe 5 minutes later, that's when the wind really started kicking. And boy, it was,
Howling, huh?
we ended up having to take the tent down. He was like, don't worry about it. Let's just take the tent down. We had everything we could do just to take the tent down without it just collapsing.
Become a parachute.
Yeah, it blew over a few big
Wow.
big tents and stuff that were held down. So it was
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty epic. But
Joe's awesome.
Yeah,
That's one of my favorite of that style of car.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite.
It's cool, man.
It's got such good attitude, man.
Yeah,
Great car. Great car.
Who painted that? That was
Rose.
Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rose painted it, and it's that girl on the back with the gas mask on is
Epic.
just so cool.
Yeah,
So
it's a
cool.
neat car. I'll definitely put some pictures of that one up. That's a cool car.
Yeah. So
They should have known it was going to rain. They invited you.
I know, right?
Come to Vegas.
Everything I do. I know. Vegas, it rains. Mobile, it rains.
Woe is me, Sean.
Yeah, that's why I ended up driving the Fairlane down there because I registered the 55, but once I saw the chance of weather and stuff, I was like, man, I don't want to. I don't want to have to deal with all that.
You had a scare with the Fairlane.
So yeah, I did. Yeah. I thought the PCM went out on it, and I was actually driving to the Thursday night cruise in, and I hadn't been, and really since it started, since the beginning of the year, and so I was like, all right, cool, I got time, I'm gonna go, and hopped in the car, and I was on 385 by my house, and I'm rolling along in the passing lane 75 miles an hour, and I looked down and I felt the car kind of slow down a little bit. I was like, what the heck? And I looked down, the dashboard's out, and I'm hitting the gas pedal, and there's nothing. So I'm like, oh. So I managed to pull over, and just dead.
Wow.
Dead. So
Tell him what his problem was, Mike.
Yeah, I know.
Tell him what his problem without telling what his problem was.
A fuse.
Yeah, it was a few. When I got it back, so Chris came and picked me up. Thank you, Chris Johnson. He came and picked me up and dropped it off at the house. And I went through with an ohm meter, and I swear I tested every one of them, but I must have missed that 115 amp.
Probably
fuse,
because you were cussing and you were freaking out about a $2,000 EC.
Right, I know. Well, the biggest problem was I was researching. Ford Racing doesn't make that harness anymore.
Oh, good.
And so I'm like, and I called Ford, and they're like, oh, we haven't made those in 10 years, and I'm like, great. This was built about 10 years ago, and we're all like ducking to try and get the wind noise out. So the guy was looking into it for me, but who knows what.
I got you.
If anything would have happened with that, but it is making me think that I need to probably chase after one.
Or just go to Holly Terminator X, man.
Yeah, no, I'm
Com
not going to do Holly.
Com
I'm going to do
doesn't have
Holly.
anything?
Yeah, Edelbrock
What do
and
you got?
Fast.
Tell me all about
we have
Fast.
both, Edelbrock and Fast.
Well,
Either one.
go ahead and pitch it, baby.
So, yeah. ProFlow 4?
I've got a comp banner. Let me go
fast,
get that.
Yeah, or a Fast Sportsman.
Yeah.
Either one. But man, I don't want to go through all that wiring. That's
you probably don't have to.
No. Well, you would if I ended up having to go with another system.
Yeah.
So
You could probably repin the ECM.
Well, yeah. So that was the thing is so it was kind of funny. PCM is not really easy to get necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta finagle stuff. You gotta have a VIN and
Right.
whatever.
Oh.
And the thing is like I could have BS'd it and got a VIN, but it would have been a VIN for a 2009 Mustang, right? So the 2009 GT500.
I think we're still on.
Yeah, y'all are on. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's what he's trying to tell you.
It's been a while. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But a 2009. If I got a PCM for a 2009 GT500, it's going to have all the extra stuff on it still. So
Right.
power brakes, or ABS.
Emissions.
And,
Also, all the
and that.
anti-theft crap.
Yeah.
Ford puts a
Yeah.
lot of anti-theft crap
Right.
in there.
So I would
They're
have
hot-
to
they're
find
hot
somebody
cars,
to
man.
flash it again. But a guy told me the other night, he's like, man, what you need to do is plug into get somebody to plug into the OBD2 and download your tune.
Good call.
So you
then,
save
and
it,
then back
save
it up.
it.
Good
Yeah.
call.
I was like, yeah, that's a smart idea. So
You
yeah.
should contact my buddy Brian about that.
Yeah, all right.
He can do that for
Yeah,
you.
I need to do that for sure. But no, I took it over to Stepan. So I was like, I don't know, it's nothing. And Stepan messaged me and he's like, dude, just bring it over here. He's like, it's not the PCM. I'm like, okay, but I have no idea what else it is. So I took it over to his place. And 10 minutes.
He pulled
later,
a 15
10
amp
minutes
fuse
later,
out,
yeah.
put it back in,
Yeah.
cranked it up, and said, "Get the hell out of my shop."
That was pretty much it. No, but he went and looked at it for me, and it was the fuel pump and the dash are both going to the same fuse. They're going to a 15 amp fuse.
One 15 amp fuse.
Yeah, which
That doesn't
yeah.
seem correct.
No, that's not correct. So I'm gonna have to get the
Stick a 30 in there. Got it.
right? Exactly.
That is. That is. I can save you some time, pal.
Yeah, well,
And a lot of money.
The fuel pump should be going through the
It should
power,
have its
the
own
power
fuse.
it should be going through the power distribution box for the Ford Racing
Dedicated,
thing.
yeah.
And it's always like when you turn the key on, it comes on
Immediately.
and it stays on 100% all the time. So if it goes through that distribution box, from what I understand, it'll modulate it and do what
Right.
it needs to do. You
Right.
know, so
Yeah. all that's supposed to be computer controlled.
right. So at some point they'll have to
Deal with
change.
all that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So yeah,
That's not cool. If it wasn't computer controlled, he wouldn't have all these damn problems.
Tell him his
Had
problem.
a damn distributor and a carburetor on that bastard.
That's right.
Tell him his problem, Mike. It doesn't have a flathead.
It ain't. It's got valve covers.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I could also
just saying.
drive it to Mobile and
I'm
back
just saying,
in no time.
I ain't never changed a PCM on my flathead Ford ever.
Yeah.
It has not run like a piece of crap before, but it's
I ain't never changed one.
Yeah.
She'll
So
start.
I know Matt's not on camera, but out of all of us, Matt
Yeah.
has made some strides on his Model A.
Absolutely.
He's
And why
striding.
didn't we give Matt a mic? Like,
He's
why
got
didn't-
got a mic.
He's
You
got a
put
mic
the
over
mic
there.
the furthest away from him as
He
possible.
does,
I don't think they wanted you on it.
Tries
Man.
Turn it
not
on,
to.
man.
They don't ever want me on.
There he
I know.
is.
I
Ah,
know.
yeah.
It happened.
Tell us what you got going on, Matt.
You can't see Matt, but
Yeah.
you'll
got-
hear
he's-
him.
I'm
He's
gonna
wearing a black hat, a black shirt, and shorts.
Well, what we'll do is
Same
we'll put
uniform as every other.
we'll put pictures of your car up while you're talking.
We'll have Philip. Photoshop
yeah,
me in.
Photoshop you in.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's really good.
Philip, I'd like to be out there on a boat. So if you're listening to this, that'll work.
I fully got this. This is so going to happen.
I saw the recent Photoshop with you. That was really
Oh,
nice.
yeah, it was good. It was good. Other Matt, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. So my car is driving like I can drive it.
There it is. Keep on going.
Yeah. So I got a little bit left to do on the car. Going over to Sean's today and playing with the third member,
Yeah.
adjusting it, putting a posi in it. Man, I'm putting a posi in, hooking the transcooler up, and I can start daily driving it, playing with it. So
Nice.
it's running good. I got the transmission to shift. I thought I was gonna have to replace the transmission.
That's good.
It turned out to
Epic.
just be the pressure
Yeah.
was not regulated right. So
It's kind of
Yeah.
funny. Mike had just a bunch of transmissions laying around. We picked up one and stuck it in the car, and sure
Yeah,
enough,
yeah,
it's good.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah,
works.
I mean, that's how we do it, right?
That's it.
Actually,
It's funny how that works
to be
out.
100% honest with you, so we picked up the transmission I had laying around,
Yeah.
and it was complete garbage. But luckily, Greg Bourne had brought an AOD to my shop as well,
Yeah.
and we were going to send it off. So we're like, Greg, my transmission's garbage. He's like, I don't care. I want a case to be rebuilt. So if you need to take mine, Greg Bourne's worked just fine.
Perfect. Greg has bailed us out of more crap.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Greg.
Thank you, Greg.
We need to have him back on the show.
Man, Greg's awesome.
He's
Guy.
a good dude, man.
Fantastic.
He's a rodder.
He's a rider.
He's a rodder. That's pretty epic.
Speaking of riders, fancy jumpsuit at the mile. I didn't see. I
Yes.
wasn't there. I was
Yeah,
there.
I know.
Another
You weren't
absentee.
there. Warrington wasn't there.
Yeah.
Where's my
Look,
jumpsuit?
I wasn't there.
Yeah,
for most of it.
Yeah, for most of it, Matt wasn't there.
So, tell us a story about Matt.
Well, so pretty much we get out there. Rod Austin came into town. He hung out with us. He actually helped out that Friday night when we were thrashing, trying to get the panel together.
Yeah.
So that I could drive it. Didn't happen. I mean, we pulled the plug at about 10:30 at night. It was like, it's not happening.
I pulled a muscle at about 10:30 a.m.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, Javier was there for that. And Matt Marion, just killing ourselves trying to get that thing going. Didn't happen. So we all load up and we roll out. Tim Scott was like, look, I got something in the morning. I'm going to come after. All right, so Marion sent him the address, and I guess
this is great.
Tim did not, when he put it in his maps, he didn't look at the city. He just clicked the first address, right? That was the same. Well, as most people
I'm going
know,
to Blytheville or Alaska.
He went
Right.
to Meridian,
Yeah,
Arkansas, instead
yeah,
of Blytheville,
yeah,
Arkansas.
as
I don't
most
even know
people
where
know,
Meridian is.
2 hours in the other direction.
yeah. So he calls us and he's like, are you sure this address is right? He calls Matt, and Matt's like, yeah, I gave you the address. And he's like, oh, wait a minute. Wrong city.
No way, dude.
Went 2.5 hours
I
in
didn't.
the
I didn't
wrong
hear
direction.
that part.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
funny.
So
Yeah,
we're like,
instead of
look,
going north when you come over the bridge and heading straight north,
Yeah.
he went just straight west.
Wow.
kept going.
So like
Well,
past Forest City,
toward
toward
yeah.
almost to Little Rock.
Yeah.
I feel like Siri is like, in 2.5 seconds, you're going to realize you messed up.
The weird part about it is Tim Scott has come with us to the Arkansas Mile every time we went. But I guess, you get in the habit
You
of
just
blindly
cruise. You just cruise,
following
man.
the maps, right? And you're just rolling. You're thinking about your life, I guess. I don't really know.
Got the
Today's
tunes
going to
going.
be a good day. I'm making
Yeah.
good decisions all day.
Yeah, that's right. You got Buddy Holly playing in the background. You're just enjoying life, right? And turns out he went the wrong direction. So we're like, hey, go ahead and turn around and come on back. Right?
Yeah.
We'll see you in a few. What was it? 20, 30 minutes go by. Get another call from Tim Scott. Hey, man, my transmission just puked out the front main seal in that thing.
Oh,
So he
And this is a
broke
what,
down
57?
56,
The wagon?
56 wagon.
56, yeah. Ford Country Squire.
But, I mean, it does have valve covers on it.
yeah.
It's fuel injected 302 with an AOD,
Yeah.
which the seal had been leaking for a while.
Yeah.
But it was just subtly leaking. Well, it decided to go ahead and do all the leaking on the road. And
Polish it off.
Yeah, so he calls, and, we're in the middle of everything. And thank God, other Matt, or Roadster Matt, whatever we're going to call him.
Yeah.
Thank God he had his truck and his trailer. Which really, when you think about it, everything turned out great because I was supposed to haul his Roadster with the panel.
Yeah.
I don't know if the panel would have liked pulling that 56 wagon on a trailer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But because the panel didn't go, other Matt took his truck with his trailer and his little Roadster on it. Which, by the way, other Matt ran his Roadster on the half mile, and man.
Tell us tell us about his Roadster.
Wait a minute.
Look.
Go finish. The
Yeah,
other
let me
story
finish that.
first.
So he calls, and Matt Marion jumps in other Matt's truck. Hall's asked to go get him. Matt Marion basically missed the entire damn day.
So Matt Marion got there and then hopped in Matt Clark's.
Hopped in Matt Clark's, went and picked up Tim,
Nice.
hauled Tim to his mother's house in Marion, Arkansas, and then I guess home. Did you haul him home after that?
No, so I had to go pick him up in Meridian, Arkansas.
Oh, you had to go back to Blytheville to get other Matt's
Then I had
Roadster.
to bring the wagon to Marion, drop it off at my mom's house, to head back to Blytheville to get Matt's Roadster.
So really, you just drove all day.
I just drove the whole day.
all
I
day.
didn't see any racing.
Yeah,
I didn't get to see him or Greg run.
yeah. But man,
That
I'm
sucks.
telling you,
It's all good though.
with the whole Rotters thing, right? You see all these old pictures of the Rotters. Well, I don't know how many people know the history of it or whatever, but so they started in 47. Very early on, they went to an airstrip and started illegally
Halls.
drag racing in Halls, Tennessee on an old Air Force base. So all of the early pictures that you see of the Rotters is at an airstrip, right?
Right.
And it really didn't dawn on me that when we were going out there, we're going to run Greg's car, flathead powered, super cool car. We're running other Matt's little A model, which is a bone stock A
Yeah,
model
bone stock.
with
Yeah.
no fenders on it, just a really old world. It looks like an early days hot rod, what a teenager probably would have done, in that time. But all those pictures are from that. So as we're setting up, thank God for Steve, the guy that runs the Arkansas Mile. If you're not familiar with the Arkansas Mile, we plan on doing it again in fall. Make it a point to come out to the Arkansas
October
Mile.
6th and 7th, I think, is
Yeah, yeah.
the next one.
It is. There's just something about it, It's an old Air Force base that is leased out by a company that sells parts. So there's like half disassembled planes everywhere that you're driving through. It's just epic. And the moment they pulled out there, we didn't even know we were gonna run. Steve came up and he was like, "You guys got to run." We're like, "Okay, cool." So, we do the paperwork and we're gonna run. Look, we only had one jacket between the two of them, one helmet between the two of them. So one of them would run, come back to the start line, and pass his jacket and his helmet to the other guy.
Probably just like the old days.
Which again, yeah, it's just like in my mind.
Oh, yeah.
it's just like it was, know. But I'm sitting there and I'm taking pictures, and I know I'm not a photographer like you, and I'm not all. I got my little camera or whatever. But as I take the picture and I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, this feels a lot like those pictures.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it felt like,
Nostalgia.
This might be a historical moment later on,
Yeah.
So we run, and man, other Matt, you could tell he was nervous. Like he didn't know he was going to be running.
yeah,
and that was the first time he ever really drove that car.
right. And it still had original tires and stuff on it. Right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Let's talk
Tires
about the
had
tires.
yeah, the tires had dry rock cracks in as big as my finger.
He was in.
I thought he was
They
going
were
to have to
1929.
He was in a pit with shoe polish like Bert. Just
Kurt Monroe in it.
Yeah. Look, and it was to the extent that you're in a line, right? And I mean, I'm talking you're running with GT40s. I mean, you're running with there's
supercars
Lamborghinis
and he
out there.
and he smoked him. It was amazing.
with a
I don't know what he
flathead
had.
four-cylinder.
Triple turbocharged. I don't even know what.
Hey, he probably beat somebody.
But look,
He made it all the way down.
We're out there with these cars that are. I'm talking. We are out there with these cars that are way up there, and motorcycles. They let you run. All that stuff, and everybody that is waiting to run is walking over to gawk over other Matt's A model roadster. They're like, "Oh my God, what year is it?" And of course, a couple of guys are like, "Man, those tires are dry rotted. Are you nervous?" And Matt's like, "No." And so me and Matt are talking, and he's like, "Man, what do you think?" And I said, "Well, they advertise these things at top speed at 45 miles an hour. So if you do anything near 40, I'm calling it a win." And it's just a big buildup. People are walking around, and you can tell he's nervous as hell.
Hell yeah. I
He's
would be
nervous
too.
as hell.
Everybody looking at me and stuff.
Right.
Plus,
yeah.
he doesn't want to die.
Yeah. Right.
Well, I mean,
There's that.
in reality,
Hey, 39 miles an hour in a roadster is enough to kill you.
I mean, I feel like I'm just gonna bail and just
Yeah,
roll.
that's
you
you.
know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Matt's gonna be like Wile E. Coyote holding the steering wheel with his butts dragging the ground.
Easy.
Yeah. But yeah, so he gets up there and he takes off, and it's unsynchronized transmission, and you can tell that he's a little green on that, and you can see it as he's taking off. But man, once he starts going, he starts giving that thing. He went for it. He was giving it everything that it had. And man, all of the people that don't know us, and all of our people were standing there at the little trailer where they do the announcing.
Yeah.
And They're like, Matt Clark, A model roadster, 48 miles an hour at the half, and you would have thought he went 1,000,000 miles an hour. The entire starting line's like, yeah, like, over 48 miles. There's cars doing 200 out there,
right.
but that A model did 48 miles an hour, and it was just.
Must have had a heavy tailwind, huh?
No, it was actually a headwind.
Really? Nice.
Yeah, it
For
was
takeoff-
actually
for
a headwind.
takeoffs, man.
Yeah. It
Good
was
spark-
about a
good
20
spark
mile
plugs.
an hour headwind.
Nice.
The guy in the Factory 5 car was like, "This is bullshit."
See, well, they always overrate. They always underrate.
Yeah,
what
back in the
cars
day
will
they
do,
did.
right?
Yeah. Well, and he took all the fenders and stuff off, and maybe those guys in the old days, they were onto something like
Yeah.
power to weight ratio. He stripped
True.
everything off that thing that
Yeah.
wasn't essential.
Body in a frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take
Yeah.
floor mats out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we had. He doesn't have floors.
I know.
took the floors
I know,
out. Took the
right.
floors out.
Yeah, take the floors out.
But yeah, we just it was like being back then. We had a blast, and really, to be honest with you, I think attendance was kind of down that day.
Yeah.
But Don Gilmore in the Iron Dinosaur, like he's like, you guys come out here, we got cookies at the pit, like,
Yeah.
and they're always super like, come on in and join us, and then just all the guys there are fantastic guys, and it was really, really one of those days that I was like, man, this was something special.
Yeah.
So
you know?
we've got the Hot Rod Blues alum racing. What did Jeffrey go out there?
Yeah, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey
Well,
first.
it's unofficial.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. And I'm going to tell it as PC as possible because I'd rather Jeffrey tell his story himself. But basically, to what I gather, he was supposed to run like the half and then the 3/4 and then the mile. But Jeffrey is. You got something to speak on that?
He was supposed to license up.
Yeah, you got
Just 'cause
license
He's never
up,
ran
but
at
he's-
Live
right.
for the SCTA event.
Right.
He's
Well,
done
he's never ran
Bonneville.
ECTA.
ECTA.
He's-
He's never done ECTA.
Yeah, he's SCTA
At
licensed,
Bonneville, yeah.
but he's not East Coast licensed.
Yeah.
But of course, Jeffrey being Jeffrey, and I love that about Jeffrey, he's so unassuming. Like, he does not look like
Yeah.
who he is.
He looks like he programs computers for a living.
right, but he's like
Because he also does that for a
right. But he is such a he has this punk rockness to him
He
that I
does,
just think
for
is
sure.
fantastic.
He's a
And
rebel,
he
man.
Does not look that way. So I think he got his car up and running to where he liked it, and he was supposed to license up, and he got on the starting line, and he was like, fuck it. We're doing the whole mile.
Let's go.
What are they gonna
And
do, stop
he
me?
was, right, and he was one of the first cars to run that morning. He did 240 and some change.
and that was on low boost. I saw that run.
Yeah, the full mile. He was supposed to do half mile. He did the full mile, 240. They came out there flipping out on him, and he decided, well, you can't fire me. I quit. So before they kicked him out, he loaded up his stuff and rolled out. Like, Jesus. That is punk
The,
rock.
the accelerator got
punk rock.
stuck. What do you want me to do? It's a technical difficulty. Anyway, see you in Bonneville, bitch.
Right. Epic. But yeah, we talked about it. I was looking around the pits for him, and I'm like, where is Jeffrey at? And I call him.
There
He's
you
like,
go.
hey, man, we were about to get thrown out, so I just rolled out. I was like, all right, cool. We'll
Went
catch you next
out
time."
of my own terms.
Wow.
He's going for 3 at Bonneville. Is that what we're looking? What's he? What?
I think he's going for 300. Yeah.
He's going for 3, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Around 300. I don't know what the actual record is.
I'm sure that's what I saw on the Blues page was his run at Blyville, which was the 240 run. Did you see
Probably.
that? The pit,
Yeah.
He's got a GoPro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's got the air shift
Yeah.
on his. Yeah, that
Yep.
was impressive.
Yeah.
It's good. Good stuff.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah, he came by the shop yesterday, I think it
Oh,
was.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, he brought, there's this floor pan to this Dodge that, of course, they don't reproduce. And he's like, Mike, can you reproduce this floor pan? I'm like, yeah. So him and Bucky came over to the shop, and we shot shit for a minute and talked about it. And I don't know. I like Jeffrey. I
Yeah,
like
good dude.
I like his, I don't give a shit type attitude. I just think it's fan. And plus, he just doesn't look like that guy. You know what I'm saying?
And he
So it's-
programs computers.
so it's so like you just
Yeah.
don't. expect it from him, and I think that makes it even better. Like
Yeah.
you would expect someone that looks like me to act like him,
Absolutely.
but someone that looks like him, you would expect to act like me, which is really weird.
Dogs and cats living together.
It's epic. I like it.
No doubt, man.
Yeah.
Which it's all a good conversation because we've got Bonneville
Oh yeah.
right around the corner.
So before
Yeah,
we
not
go
that
to
far away.
Bonneville, what did Greg Boren run in his dad's 35?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he, no, I think it's a 33 or 34.
Yeah, it could be.
I think it's 33, 34. Flathead powered.
Yeah.
My guy. That's what I love about the Borns. Like, everybody talks trash. They're like, oh, at least I can drive my car there. Your car got a flathead. You can't drive. Well, Greg Bourne did it
Drove
85 miles an hour all the way to the Arkansas mile, put it on the line, didn't put it on a
I'm
trailer,
gonna call BS.
put it on the
You
line.
didn't drive 85 on the way there.
That's only because Rod was leading.
Rod led and went 55 mile an hour the whole way. I'll tell you what, the 300's cruise control would not even set because it was going so slow. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I promise you.
Well,
look,
that's just
he
as
was-
well. It doesn't have a key anyway.
He was swerving on the interstate trying to slow down, but I was riding with Rod in his wagon, which I love his wagon.
Yeah.
Big block powered.
Yeah.
It's and it's so cool. And his trailer, if you've never seen Rod's camper,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
it
He's
matches
got like a
his
Shasta
car
or something, doesn't he?
perfectly.
Yeah.
No, he had made his trailer.
Oh, he did.
He
Okay.
made his trailer.
Yeah.
But
Very cool.
yeah, so but regardless of that, Greg Bourne drove the flathead powered car there and then ran it. And Greg, there was a Lakester there, a belly tanker with a flathead in it, and it did like 100, 102, something like that. So Greg was hell bent that he wanted to be the fastest flathead there. Now, when the belly tanker ran, there wasn't a 20-mile-an-hour headwind.
Yeah.
When Greg ran, it was like 20, 22-mile-an-hour headwind. And the belly tanker was doing the whole mile. They were only letting us do half mile,
Ah.
right? So at half mile, Greg did 91 and some change. And then the second one, I think he did right at 92 and some change.
Nice.
But, man.
Probably would have got there in a mile.
Yeah, in a mile.
Yeah.
In a mile, I think he could have done that 8 more.
Yeah.
But man, who cares? We had a blast, and like seeing that car run, you know. And the funny part about it is so that car belongs to Tommy, right? So he calls his dad, and he's like, you know, Greg's car's down. He's like, Dad, I'm gonna take the car out. You know, I'm cruise out to Blytheville and go check out this mile. He didn't know that he was running it. Greg didn't know that he was running. But Greg gets there and gets the opportunity. He's like, I guess I'm going to have to ask for forgiveness and permission. He runs Tommy's car.
I feel like this
Oh,
group
isn't that what a son is supposed to do?
Right.
This group has a history of doing that.
Yes.
Tim
Yes.
Scott being the
Oh yeah.
It's probably the reason why his transmission gave out on
Yeah.
him.
I feel like that. Yeah, the
So-
Byhalia
so-
run is what did it.
In all fairness, we when we built Scrappy at Byhalia, Tim Scott had just got that Ford.
Yes.
And he had it like 3 weeks. And we're walking around. Matt and I are walking around and looking at cars. And Tim said, "Hey, why don't you take my car if you guys just want to cruise around?" So I put it on the track.
Look, right after Tim gave him the keys, Sean went walking by me, and Sean was like, "Watch this. Pay attention to the track." I'm like, "Oh God."
I could just see Tim. I wasn't there for that exact moment because we were over there was messing around with Scrappy, but I just picture him, unassuming, quiet guy, eating nachos as his car goes.
So
And you didn't baby it either, did you?
no, I did. I
Did you?
didn't flog it.
All right.
But I guess the moral of the story is don't loan your car
To anybody in this group.
At
No,
the
you can do
drag
that.
strip,
Not-
you
not-
know?
if they have a stopwatch out, don't do that.
Right.
Because we're gonna see what it can do.
But yeah, Matt and I went down, and and the guy was waiting for me to for the burnout, and we just didn't do it. We just kind of rolled up and just kind of eased off, and everybody was just, "What the hell's happening? Is he gonna run?" We just kind of cruised down the strip. Yeah, ran probably a 30-second quarter or
gotta
eighth,
get-
rather. Yeah, just kind of cruise, blowing the horn.
Give her all she's got, Captain.
Yeah.
That's all that thing could do, probably.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
Blytheville was epic. It was a great day. Everything about it was just awesome.
I missed it. But
It was great the first time.
I made money, so it was good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was great. Every time I've been to Blytheville has been fantastic.
And it's one of those things you're like, oh, how's it gonna go? And it's always great.
Always. Always.
Because at the end of the day, you're doing fun car stuff with your fun car friends.
Yeah, I wound up riding
Sure.
in a push truck with Don Gilmore, pushing off the Iron Dinosaur, which is fantastic.
Neat,
help
man.
him load the chute. You know those pictures
Yeah.
where I'm in the jumpsuit, and that was
Yeah.
me loading the chute. I can't remember the girl's name. Do you remember the girl's name that ran, Matt?
Yeah, Liz. I don't really know her last name.
Yeah, Liz something, but
Yeah.
Don
Something.
let her
Oh,
get licensed
Liz.
up.
That's Liz Liggett.
Liz,
Yeah.
yeah.
She's a photog. You should know her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know that.
she's
Yeah.
super. She and her dad are super duper Bonneville people.
Yeah, she
Follow her
takes
on Instagram.
A lot of stuff.
She's cool.
Yeah. So Don let her get licensed up in his car.
Yeah.
So she drove his car.
She's Bonneville ready.
Yeah.
that girl.
Nice.
She's got her license and everything. She'll be out there.
So, yeah, I got time.
So what? Is there a plane flying around?
No, I think
No.
there's a bulldozer. Or
Ah,
something
bulldozer.
going by.
Okay,
I don't know.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I think that's a telehandler or something.
Yeah.
It's a wild whirlwind adventure out here. They're getting ready for judging. And
yeah.
we'll be winding down here in a little bit because
Right.
we actually got to vacate the space. So
Yeah,
that-
we gotta get out of here.
or we're going to
kicked
get
out.
trapped till noon. So.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't
So
wanna shut
if
it
I
down.
disappear in about 10 minutes, I just take these off and roll out.
Yeah.
I have a graduation. You know,
Oh, yeah.
My daughter's graduating.
Yay.
Mike's finally graduating.
It only
No,
took
he still
40
hasn't
something
done
years.
that.
Now, I don't even have a GED.
He's a beauty school dropout.
Right.
That's right. Beauty school dropout.
So I'm going to pitch another episode for us, and I haven't reached out to these guys yet, but they'll do it. I want to bring Lightning on the show.
That
and-
would be awesome.
And I want him to discuss the history of his Green 32.
Man.
So the Green 32, and I'll throw some pictures up. It's a survivor car, kinda. He had to he put another frame under it a few years ago. The original frame was a drag car, so
Yeah.
that original 32 frame was just
Memphis car.
jacked up. But nevertheless, it is an old Rodders car, and if you've gone to the Instagram Rodders page and if you've found pictures of a Green 32, that's Jimmy Fulgham and that car, and Lightning owns it and drives it every weekend practically.
Yeah.
It is a driver 32 supercar. I want to bring him, Tim Scott, who we just spoke about, and Parker.
Yeah, Parker, man.
Parker's epic, man.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I love
I
love
deal
the
with
A-Truck.
Parker,
That A-Truck is cool because
Yeah.
he's a theme guy.
He
is,
You know, I'm
yeah.
a theme guy.
Yeah.
And I never got to see. I wanted to see it because I love UFO stuff. Like
his themes change all the time.
yeah, that's what I love
Yeah.
about that. That's what I was getting to. I hope he does it again. Some rendition. He had a flying saucer, kind of like he'd recovered it out in Roxwell.
UFO retrieval
Oh,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah. He's had an outhouse on the back of
You
it.
got to get
He's-
pictures of that.
yeah.
thing.
Sets it up
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a bootlegger truck.
Yeah.
I've surfed on an ironing board behind his truck,
Yeah.
which is epic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a bug years ago, and it was cool. It was he had bought it from somebody, and they had made a roadster out of it. So he went out in his backyard and cut a bunch of bamboo up and made a tiki roof out of it.
Epic.
And it was killer, man. And he ended up blowing the motor up, and I think he sold it for practically nothing.
Right.
But I would be driving that car today. It looked so good.
Yeah.
I mean, just fantastic, man. Good stuff.
Yeah. He's got some interesting
Yeah.
interesting
Yeah,
ideas.
he's a character.
for sure.
Eclectic.
Yeah.
That you never know what he's going to wear. It could be a cowboy today.
I
tomorrow.
love that. I love that. If you see the pictures from Blytheville, he's the guy in the top hat that looks
Yeah.
like the magician, which is epic, man. I am
And
a
he
hat
can
guy.
totally-
Top hat. So he rolled up there with a different hat on.
Yeah.
And we get there. We go to the starting line. We're all sitting around. Well, this guy walks up with a white beard and has a top hat on. And I'm thinking, that guy will get along with Parker really well. It ended up being Parker.
It was Parker.
Threw me off.
You got a brother? You got a brother?
That's hilarious.
Love it, man. Parker. Yeah, I've known Parker a long time.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
and he's down to come for whatever. When we have
Yeah.
random people that come into town, which happens a lot, they'll message us and be like, "Hey, can you meet us at the airport?" We did that with the UK guys. We did that recently with some of our people from Arizona that we had never met, and they just messaged Rodders
Yeah.
Car Club and was like, "I know this is weird, but like, can you guys like give us a ride to Sun Studios?" Like, yeah, sure, man. Greg, Parker, Tim, like always down. Tim had problems that day.
Yeah, he did. He was on the hook for a tire or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, Greg's car gave out the brakes.
And they were so cool that they were loving the whole experience.
Oh yeah, they were in.
That guy
They
was
were
a
in.
50s greaser. I never got to meet him, but I saw the pictures. And I was
Super
like,
cool people.
He's getting the whole Memphis experience. Be like, look, there's a
funny.
pothole that blew a tire, and this is
Yeah.
what we do here.
Yeah. It
Hey,
was
speaking of
fantastic.
driving people places, though, I don't think we've even talked about the thing that with Hemmings coming in town and
Yeah.
us doing the
Did
one
we
perfect
not
day.
talk about that?
We never really talked about it. I think
That was epic.
I think you quit the podcast at some point there, and I always
It's a hiatus. It's not a quitting.
yeah.
He took a break.
Where's he at
I'm
now?
a busy man.
Sabbatical.
Where's he at,
Yeah.
Barrington?
He's
Where's he at
here.
right now?
He's here.
I'm in high demand. What can I
Yeah.
say?
So tell us about it, Sean. What's
But
the story?
yeah, no. So Hemmings came in town, and Dan Stoner does a series on their YouTube channel called One Perfect Day, and I believe this was the second one that he shot. He had shot one in Austin at Lone Star Roundup, and then they came here. They went to Edelbrock and did stuff there, and then. So on One Perfect Day, it's kind of like Anthony Bourdain's show that he used to have. What was it?
No reservations.
No reservations. Yeah,
I'm actually
it's
a fan
got
of
that.
that guy.
Yeah, it's got that feel to it. It's go and eat someplace and music and
Eat a bunch
and
of
all that.
places.
Yeah, eat a bunch of
Yeah.
places. Yeah, he ate like 5 places.
Well, I love that. Well, he's like, and of course, if you're in Memphis, you're gonna eat again.
yeah. More barbecue. Yeah, which is
Look, I
here.
like that he went to the ghetto to the tamale shop. Yeah, like, I thought that was that. I was like,
Well, he didn't have a choice. I think Greg
Wow.
was riding him around.
That one's.
He didn't have a choice.
Keep talking.
He didn't have a choice. Like Greg hijacked him basically, and I think by the end of it, Greg was probably like injecting
Yeah.
insulin into himself to keep.
Yeah,
going.
he went to Pops in Orange Mound
which is epic.
Yeah.
In the Roadster.
in the Roadster.
Yeah.
and ate on the trunk of the Roadster.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
stuff, man. Pops is okay. Here's a weird thing. In Memphis, tamales are a very common dish.
Yeah.
And it happened. I am told from the
Are they?
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Spanish conquistadors, I believe.
No. Hernando de Soto.
1862.
I think
No, it was,
this is why you needed to graduate high school.
But no, I do know the story.
I do not
Yeah.
think they teach
He knows the story.
I know the
Memphis
story.
tamale
okay.
history.
So migrant workers in the Mississippi Delta, who Mexican migrants who came to work the cotton fields,
what I heard.
left tamales in the Delta, and they trickled up to Memphis.
Really?
It is. It's tamales. When you go to a restaurant, don't be shocked.
side
if
dish.
tamales are here.
Right.
It is.
Yeah.
My entire life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Corky's Barbecue, a Memphis staple, has them on the menu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a side, and they're actually decent.
Yeah, they're okay.
Yeah. You'll
yeah.
go to a wing shop and they'll have tamales. in
Yeah.
it.
Well, we're also in the South and in Memphis, specifically where spaghetti is a side dish.
It
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
You can't just serve spaghetti,
Right,
Because if
no.
you do that,
With-
you're gonna get
with barbecue.
yeah.
sauce
That's
on
well,
Right.
and that's it. And they're gonna be like, "I see you got the spaghetti." We did it. So at the fire department, we cook all
Yeah.
the time, and the new kids will come in from like California, the transplants,
Right.
Yeah.
and they'll cook spaghetti, and you'll have the vets like, "So where's the catfish?"
Right. Right. Yeah.
this is
Where's
the
the-
side.
this
This
is
is
not
the-
a main. This is a side.
Yeah.
We don't want the salad.
Right,
Where's the
right.
catfish?
Yeah. Yeah. In Memphis, Tennessee, spaghetti is like macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is weird to me.
So are you
That's
guys,
because you're a Yankee.
Yeah.
right. So how about a Coolickle? Do you guys?
Yeah.
I know
Oh,
Mike
yeah,
knows.
pickle
Yeah.
Kool-Aid.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so that's another thing. In a lot of convenience stores and small grocery stores, they'll have the big jar of pickles on the counter.
Yeah.
And what they do is they take cherry Kool-Aid and
Yep.
mix it in, and it literally turns the inside of the pickle kind of red.
Yeah.
But it's called a Coolickle.
Yeah.
And it's a very
Never heard of that? That's
Never heard
Coldwater,
of it.
Mississippi, right there.
That's right.
That's
Evidently.
finest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's also a communicable disease. It's like the blue waffle.
There's all sorts of weird stuff though. Like up in Selmer, you can get a slug burger.
I'm not familiar.
Yeah.
What's a slug burger? Is it
I
slugs?
don't know what
Got
it is,
slugs
but
in it?
I don't know. I don't eat
I
it.
mean, it's a
But,
burger, but
There's no
they-
slugs in it.
You know, they do their own thing. You know, there's weird random burger shops that do random things. Like I think the one down in Byhalia that's well known. I can't remember the name of it, but they actually they crumble up saltine crackers and mix it with their hamburger meat.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
random like little towns around Memphis
Sure.
all do like this one weird thing with their hamburgers, and it's kind of
I think the most
name.
offensive version of any. I know what you're talking about. I'm
Yeah.
about to, near in Shelby Forest, near Millington. There's a place that had like a meat patty with bologna in it, impregnated inside of it. Like they would sear it, barbecue it, then they put the burger meat around it,
Wow.
and then serve that.
Interesting.
It was insane.
Did you try it?
Was it good?
Yeah.
It was amazing, wasn't it?
It was different.
It's different.
The sodium. I have a problem. Annual, doctor's appointment. My sodium level's still high from that. It's
And
pretty
I
bad.
will tell you this: it is not uncommon in Memphis, Tennessee, for you to get a hamburger served on a glazed donut.
I've seen that.
If you come here,
Yeah.
try that.
Yeah.
It is epic. I love it.
Yeah.
So
That's nuts.
I found out something today about Tops Barbecue. Speaking of barbecue,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize this. So there is a sandwich that's not on the menu, and it's called the Fireman. Okay.
I got to roll, guys. You guys
Okay.
have fun.
All right,
Keep it
Mike.
going. Keep the conversation going.
We're good.
Look forward to seeing it.
Will
Yeah.
do. Thank you, Mike.
We'll see you back next time, Mike.
Your headphones.
So the Fireman is a top special, and it is a cheeseburger with barbecue pork and slaw on it, and jalapenos and hot sauce. So they call it the Fireman, but it is cow and pig together. So it's where they stuff meat. So it's good. I had one. It's really good.
Unaffiliated with the fire department, I think.
Yeah, this is
Right.
not part of the MPD,
Yeah,
right.
but it is. It's the
Yeah.
Fireman.
Yeah. Well, we probably do need to wrap
Yeah,
this
no,
up.
we need to wrap it up.
Yeah,
So,
But
yeah, we're
yeah,
good.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
good. So, does anybody have any car stuff going on? What's happening? I've got coilovers coming and Mercury stuff coming.
at some point, I got to put my starter on my 55.
Well, what did you ever get your rear end? You had some welding to do in the ass end of that car. Is that put together
Oh,
yet?
yeah, no.
Yeah, you need to do that. That's important.
I'm waiting on my shop to get built so I can get
Oh,
my
yeah.
thing in there. The shop should be
Are they working on
Monday.
it now?
Monday.
Starting
I-
Monday.
Yeah, I'm going to go crazy and make the guy do it on Monday.
Okay,
Yeah.
got to flip out on it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, so I thought he was going to do the permit, and he didn't do the permit. So I had to, so I jumped through the hoops on
Yeah.
Thursday or whatever to do it. But I don't know when you find out that you got the permit and whatever else. But I'm like, dude, just start
do something.
moving dirt. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
That's
Cut the
my thing.
grass. Do something.
Yeah, just start
For
moving
sure.
dirt around. Like it can't get me for building anything if you're just moving dirt.
Amen. So since we've all been together as a group, we've had a few episodes that we've done, and I've been meaning to talk to you, Sean, about the photographer episode.
Yeah.
Crazy interesting. I mean, I really kind of geeked out on that one when I was putting it together.
Yeah.
It's super neat, man.
Good.
So I've got a few, and it's like I said in the podcast, I've got a few photographer friends that I've called and said, I know this car thing might not be your deal, but watch it, and they loved it.
Yeah,
they
good.
got it. So yeah, I mean,
Awesome.
anywhere from wedding photographers to I got one guy who does a lot of seniors and school kids and that kind of thing. So yeah, he thought, man, that's super cool.
Yeah, it's funny because all the photography industry is all geared toward weddings and portraits and maybe street photography or landscape photography or whatever, but there's never anything about car photography. And it's funny because you watch all these webinars and stuff like that or whatever, and they're always talking about that kind of stuff, and it's like that doesn't really translate into some of the things that you have to worry about with cars,
Sure.
So it was really cool to have those guys on, and they're incredible. And really,
Super
I just
good
want
guys.
to be able to show their photos because
Yes.
it's like man, when you're sitting there just watching us all the time, like to be able to see those kind of photos pop up.
Man,
in
the
between,
cover
you could tell
photo
them.
from that episode, with the killer cab,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's just like on one wheel.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's insane, man.
Yeah, that was Brian's, right? Beers.
Yes.
Take that one.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was very cool.
Yeah, they, I had one of yours on the last episode of what's his name, Dwayne. No, who was our guest? Daryl Nelson.
Oh yeah, Daryl doing it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Tigger.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So yeah, he got. I got photos of it, and Cole also got photos of it. Cole got the whole thing. I had just gotten there, so I didn't have my phone or my phone. I didn't have my camera on burst.
Yeah.
So so I'm thinking, as it comes up, I hit it, and I'm thinking it's on burst. I'm like, oh no, and I'm like, click, click. So I got it there, and then I got it again, like it was when it was partially down. But he bent the whole front axle on that thing.
The one pass he made, is that it? Just one pass? And
I think he had made one before that or whatever. But that one he was going all out, and he took the wheelie bars off.
Put it on the bumper.
He was like, I'm gonna put it on the bumper, and I think he put it on the bumper and scared the crap out of himself, and he lifted, and it brought it down too fast.
Oh,
and just bent the straight axle, and it took it over into the wall, and but it just messed up the fender
that's okay.
a little bit,
Drag car.
He was really surprisingly.
Yeah.
He was not
super cool about
it. If he
it?
was upset about it, he didn't show it.
Well, it's one of those things where like I did this.
Yeah.
This is my fault.
Yeah.
I did this.
Yeah,
Well,
I think that was it.
I guess there's a level of that could happen.
Yeah.
When you do that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get it. It's a cool car.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
I love Mercury stuff.
Yeah.
for sure. Well, guys, I think this is probably going to wrap it up for us. It looks like they're getting ready to do some barbecue stuff behind us. So,
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm going to try to get Parker, Tim, and Lightning on the show coming up. Anybody else got anything happening?
Going to Middle Tennessee tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh, no.
And you are buying?
Traded for.
Okay, cool. Even better.
We had the drama with the 4-door hardtop.
Yes,
the
we did.
64. I fell out of love with it.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I couldn't start building it.
Yeah.
Couldn't sell it. Can't sell it. Nobody's interested in the
Yeah.
4-door.
Yeah.
So you do the next logical thing. You buy a 2-door SS.
You buy another one.
You buy another one. And so that's happening. I'll get you some pictures. Maybe
Okay.
you can put that on there.
Dig
That's
that. Dig that.
hilarious.
Yeah,
Man.
it's stupid. Welcome to the blues, my man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. That's
funny.
stupid car crap, man.
Well, Javi, tell us again where we are. What who
So this is Hot Rod Blues coming to you from the
Tom Lee Park.
Tom Lee. Well, it's not Tom Lee Park. I believe they renamed it and rededicated this park. Tyree Nichols. Really? Yes, that happened. They opened the new
Wow,
park.
I didn't know that.
It's the
Seriously?
pavilion. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Almost 2 weeks after everything, we had a really black eye. I don't really want to go into all that.
Well,
'cause
right,
I don't,
but I just think that Tom Lee was.
I'm talking about
That's a great story, too.
The pavilion. That is a great story.
Yeah.
The pavilion.
Yeah.
Is dedicated that
Oh,
park
okay,
within
they
the
named-
park. They didn't erase
Okay.
Tom Lee from
Okay,
the
I was like, wow.
What he did and
Yeah.
what he did in the history remains.
Yeah.
I believe Tyree had taken some pictures of
Oh, yeah.
with
The
him
bridge and
at
stuff.
the bridge with the monument. That,
Yeah.
If you want to quickly tell, you're the historian
Yeah.
in the group.
Well,
Tom Lee, is it too long?
Well,
Should we do that?
I don't know the entire story. There was a steamboat accident
The
that
Sultana.
happened. The Sultana. I think the boiler exploded. Is the story?
Yeah, they were overloaded coming back from Vicksburg.
Yeah.
Coming up, they were taking soldiers back up north.
Yeah.
And they were overloaded. It was a paddle wheeler. The boiler exploded on it north of Memphis, and 3,000 people went into the
More than
water or
Titanic.
something. Huh?
More people died on it than the
Yeah,
Titanic.
yeah, and so Tom Lee was a
fisherman,
African American who was fishing,
Yeah.
didn't know how to swim,
Yeah.
with a John boat,
Yeah, yeah.
and he happened to be there with it or by it when it happened, and he saved. I
don't know,
40,
none-
40 people?
It was
Yeah.
maybe more than that.
Wow.
I don't remember, but they said he'd go and get somebody, pull him into the boat, and take
Go-
him to the,
go
take him
back
to the
out.
side and go back out. So
There's actually a museum over
yeah,
in Marion.
yeah,
for the
there is a museum in Marion,
Wow.
Arkansas, which I haven't been to yet, but I
So,
do want to
yeah,
go to.
They
that.
have a
It's really
monument
cool.
here on the river,
Yeah.
Tom Lee Park,
Yeah.
named after him,
Yeah.
and it's a really
Yeah.
beautiful monument. And I don't know
It's
the
cool.
year. I don't know the year, but we have
I'll get
historical
pictures.
flooding.
I'll get
here.
pictures, yeah.
yeah, historical flooding. You know where I'm going with this.
Yep.
The river
Yes.
came all the way up, and it was almost ghostly.
Yeah.
Because the water came up, and the monument is him reaching down into on a dry day when the water's
Right.
down, it just kind of looks like, yeah, okay. But when the river actually came up, I don't know if they planned it that way or whatever, but
Yeah.
it was perfect
I don't
line.
think they can plan it.
I don't know. I don't know how you do that. You know, that's just the universe doing its thing,
Yeah.
and it's just ghostly
Yeah.
because it's him reaching
Yeah.
into the water.
Yeah, which is
So-
crazy. So, yeah, it's a really, really cool park, and they've done a lot of work to
$60
it.
million
Yeah,
renovation.
$60 million
on the river.
renovation to this thing, and it really was just kind of a flat space, and they've chopped it up and made all sorts of different little areas.
It's
and
made
stuff
things a
to
little
it,
weird
so-
and hard for the competition too.
Yeah,
You know,
it's difficult for
they
Memphis
cut
and May, for
well,
sure.
they cut the teams. You
Right,
know, this is
right.
they cut like 35 teams.
And they moved the whole backyard thing up onto Beale Street itself, right?
As far as the competition.
Backyard competition.
If they did that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Riverside
So they were
usually
saying.
has what they call back porch grillers
Yeah.
or whatever the
Yeah, I think
competition.
that's up on Beale Street
They've
now.
eliminated. That's not even part of this competition.
Right. Yeah,
Wow. It's a
so
different thing.
They've moved it up there.
Yeah, in an effort to try and the erosion and messing up the park,
Yeah.
essentially Memphis was spending all this money every year with the music fest, and
Right.
it turns into mud fest, which is a
Yeah.
big joke because it rains.
Right.
Putting new sod down, putting new everything down, and I think they're just getting a little more responsible to the begrudging attitude of the people that have been doing it for everybody.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
wants to be responsible. You just
Yeah.
want to have fun, but you got to pay for it.
They need to just do it out on Mud Island and be done with it.
You would think.
It'd be easier out there, you know. There's nothing going on out there.
Yeah, logistically though, what happens? You know,
Yeah.
like that's a nightmare.
Yeah.
If one way in, one way out, kind of thing.
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, if you come to Memphis and you come here, we told you at the beginning of the podcast, it helps if you know somebody. You can get in, you can buy a ticket and walk around, but the real fun happens if you're associated with somebody that's on the team.
Yep.
View of the river, it's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm
Great
really
view.
glad. I'm really glad we had the space to do this. I'm glad we were all together today.
Yeah. Thanks for
Yeah.
inviting us
Yeah,
down,
man.
It was
We're
awesome.
gonna do it again.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
guys, let's get us out of here. Javier, we haven't done it in a while, bud.
Oh, this has been Hot Rod Blues with your host, Sean Barrington, our absentee host, Mike Abbott. Sorry, Michael. Javier Agustin with Bomber Steel Customs, Sean Barrington's over there.
I'm young.
There's so many. No, you're not.
Yeah, I'm the old version.
This is Sean Young with Kingfish Metalworks and my good friend, Matt Marion. What are we doing, Matt? Are we going to promote the shift knobs? I want this guy to get back into it.
Yeah, dude.
He's
He's been busy.
He's still doing the shift knobs, but producing on the thing. But he's great. Matt, thank you for coming in, driving in from Arkansas. You
Yeah.
guys take it easy. Sean, take us out.
Yeah, thank you to the firefighters for having us down here.
and
Yeah.
the usual suspects for letting us
Yes.
host up top.
Yeah, definitely.
It was
All right,
great
guys.
seeing you guys again. Take it
Thank
easy.
you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.